Good morning, third grade. Yesterday, we compared fractions that have the same denominator, which is our bottom number. Today, we are going to compare fractions that have the same numerator, our top number. You're going to see two different types of problems. You're going to see a word problem, and you're also going to see a problem just like example problem number 2 right here. We're going to have to compare using a less than, greater than, or equal sign. So our first problem we're going to look at is a word problem. Marcos is at Athena's cafe. He can sit at a table with 5 of his friends or at a different table with 7 of his friends. The same size spinach pie is shared equally among the people at each table. At which table should Marcos sit to get more pie? As a good reader, I will reread. Marcos is at Athena's cafe. He can sit at a table with 5 of his friends or at a different table with 7 of his friends. The same spinach pie is shared equally among the people at each table. At which table should Marcos sit to get more pie? So, first we need to figure out our fractions for each table. So we know he's going to get one piece at each table because they're sharing it equally. So I know our numerator is going to be 1 in both fractions. Now, if he sits at the first table with 5 of his friends, he will get 1/6 of the pie. Now we may look at it and say, well, there's 5 of his friends. How would he get 1/6? Because if it's 5 of his friends plus him, that's 6 people. Then at the other table, we will have, again, he gets 1 slice of the pie. And if there are 7 of his friends at that table, then 7 plus 1 is 8 because he's also going to be at the table. So it's him and his 7 friends. So we need to know if he's sitting at a table where he gets 1/6 or 1/8 of the pie, which table would get him more pie? So if we look at our picture that we have right here, we already have it drawn out. We have pie A, which is the table with 5 of his friends, where it's broken into 6th, and he gets 1/6. And the other table with 7 of his friends, which would be 8 equal pieces, including him, and he gets 1/8. Now, we can see by looking at the two pictures that 1/6 is bigger than 1/8. Now again, he's still getting just one piece from both, but just from looking at our two pictures, when we shade in our 1/6 and 1/8, we can tell that he's going to get more pie if he sits at the table with 1/6 because it's a bigger piece of pie. Even though he's getting one piece at each table, if he's getting 1/6 compared to 1/8, he'll get more with 1/6 because it will be a bigger piece. So we know that 1/6 is going to be greater than 1/8. And the way that we are able to also tell that is by thinking about it and what we know our denominator represents. So our numerator is the same. So we know he's getting 1 either way. But when you look at the denominators, when the numerator is the same, you'll always look at the denominator for the answer. The fraction that has the smaller denominator will give you a larger piece. Because again, our denominator tells us how many equal parts there are. So because in the first table, there are 6 equal parts, and there are 8 equal parts. The smaller number of equal parts will always be larger. So Marcos should sit at the table with 5 friends. Now, another way you can think about this is think about maybe you get some birthday cake, right? If you're going to share that with just yourself, you're going to get the whole thing. But if you're going to share it with maybe if you have brothers, sisters, or other family members, you're going to get a smaller piece because you're breaking it up into more pieces so everybody gets the same. So when we are comparing fractions with the same numerator, we are going to look at our denominator, and the denominator that is smaller will be the greater size fraction. So that'll bring us to our other example problems, which we're going to see. You're going to be asked to compare two fractions with the same numerator, which here is 5 and 5, and you're going to write either less than, greater than, or equal to right in between them to solve the problem. So again, when our numerators are the same, we're going to look at our denominators. So I'm going to compare 6 and 7. 6 is less than 7, so therefore I know that 5/6 is greater than 5/7.